On this week's episode of rating Australia's best four-wheel drive tracks, we're in the Flinders range. We're in for some cool scenery, fun four-wheel driving in the desert.
Welcome back to another episode. This episode we're starting off in Flinders Ranges after our 54 hours of driving to Uluru and back. Yeah, we have no idea what it's really going to be like. We couldn't find that much information, but apparently the people at the station give you everything you need. So let's go check it out. So we just entered into the national park and we are on a road called Bunaroo Road. We're not too sure what the plan is for the next few days. All the four-wheel drive tracks are on private property, so you have to book a four-wheel drive track apparently. They have even less information and then they say you have to book a self-driving tour. And just because they're using the word tour, we don't really understand it. Someone's then driving in a car in front of you and you're just driving behind. There's literally no information on either of their websites. So we've emailed them both now and we're gonna see. And hopefully by the end of this video, we'll actually have some information so everyone doesn't have to go through the slightly frustrating process that this actually is. And this is the scenery where we are now, which is actually pretty sick. So we found our first four-wheel drive track we're doing. It's called Arkaroola. I think it's owned by the same people as the caravan park or station that we're staying on. We're just airing down now to go up. First we're starting with the easier of the two, just because it pops out at the beginning of the next one. We'll take you along and show you if it's worth doing or not. So the first part of the track is this kind of rolling hills, flattish kind of patch. Then apparently after this it goes uphill real quick. The lady warned us that you might kind of be like, oh, what the heck? Did we go the wrong way? But yeah, so we'll check in when we start going up. We're up the top of this little hill kind of thing. And it's pretty steep. Lauren looks a bit uncomfortable when we're driving. But it's pretty fun. The track's not been anything too difficult yet. It's just kind of rocky, but I don't think we're really close. Well, we're at like the tough bit yet. I imagine as we go higher, that's when it's going to get a bit more tricky. Scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like opening gates?
Why is there so many?
So we're just up on the top of this ridge here, as you can see from the drone now. We're on our way, about to be on our way down, going to the four-wheel drive track. So we'll come to you there unless anything cool happens on this track. So Loz is once again opening another gate for us, and we had a glimpse of what I think is the track coming up. It looks pretty steep, doesn't look too ruddy or anything, just we'll have a look when we get there and I'll show you. That's kind of obscure with this new track. It's just this long incline. It's actually pretty steep, but there's no real like rock steps or anything like that, so it should be pretty easy. We're going. Try build a little bit of momentum, but it should be. It's more funny because Lauren has to walk up the hill now. For an idea of how far we actually just went up. You can see Loz. So hopefully everyone's going to appreciate how much work this is to try and film a four-wheel drive track like this. So basically walking up and down the hill twice for all the good ones, so I can make sure I get the best angle and actually try and make it look how it looks in real life. Real nice and easy so far. Wow, we're going to leave both cameras behind here and keep going up. Don't really want to stop on the hill. We've made it to the top. We'll show you around now. It's a pretty cool view. Might chuck the drone up again and do a quick lap around and show you what it's like. Finished up the top and we've gone down and up a little ridge and we're now starting the main descent. They definitely take you up the easy route and down the scarier, steeper route. I mean, it's going to be fine. You're literally just rolling down, but have a look at how steep it is. So that's where we were before, that drone footage. And then now we're going down here. So I decided the hill goes for too long, this like real steep bit. So I'm not really going to be able to get a good shot. So I'm just going to put the drone up and let it active track and follow us down until we get to somewhere that I can land. So
the next day and we're finished off at Rawnsley station and we're going to a new place called Arkaroola, something like that. We're on an unsealed track because we're taking a little bit of a shortcut through the Flinders range. You can go a long way around, which I'm assuming is probably actual road. I think it's about 100 k's. It's a pretty good road. It's just slippery, but there's not really much corrugation and bumpiness. So we should be there in no time. We're now in Arkaroola. We just left the little towny caravan park station thing and we're just driving down Mount Jacob backtrack. I don't think it's a crazy track or anything like that, but we're just going for a drive for something to do while it cools down a bit because it's 33 degrees right now.
So I've done a few Ks on that track now and we're going for a little walk to this place called Light Gorge or something like that, and you're not allowed to swim anywhere here either because the wildlife obviously needs the water to survive. So we ended up walking for like 10 minutes or so and there's just no signs or anything anywhere. So we turned around and we just keep driving on the track and see what happens.
And we're just dropping down into this little valley. It's pretty I mean, tomorrow's going to be good. If I reckon that this is a pretty warm-up track, then tomorrow should be pretty exciting because this is already getting pretty steppy.
So we're just pulled up on another lookout. This one's pretty cool as well. This one's full 360.
So now there's a bunch of these like little valley, I'm assuming probably stream crossings when there's water around. But they make the driving a bit of extra fun, but also slow you down a little bit when you're doing the really long ones.
But yeah, it's still got how many more Ks? 3 Ks? 3 more Ks this track, which we thought was going to be nice and short, but it's actually a lot longer than we thought, but it's good fun at least.
Definitely a cool campsite, so would recommend the campsite. And even that track so far, way more entertaining than the first one we did at Rawnsley. And it was free. So far this place is worth it.
So now it's the next day. I have the wrong lens on the camera, that's why it's so close up. But we've started the Echo Camp backtrack, which is the harder track of the ones that they have here. We're just at the gorge of whatever the place is called. Waterhole, the Arkaroola waterhole. Having a look. They're in a drought, so there's no water, but it's still pretty cool scenery. Just having a look around, and then we're going to go back out, and then hopefully we'll be in the gate soon for the actual track. So now we're leaving the nice track and going onto the apparently crazy 4-wheel drive ones. So I've just headed through the gate, which is just behind the car there. And the first hill doesn't look bad, but just for an idea of what we're going to be in for the next 12 Ks or 14 Ks, whatever it was. Rutted, rainy, looks fun. Like I knew this track was gonna be pretty impressive, but like this is actually already blown my expectations. Now let's just hope the 4-wheel driving is pretty sick as well.
Yes, and hopefully not slip. I cannot see anything now. Right, we're going down in a few seconds. A little bit squeaky on the brakes. But we made it. Right, we're going up. This one's going to be a bit slippery, I think. We're going to get a wheel spin. Should put the diff lock on. Not too bad. The look on Lauren's face says otherwise.
So this next bit looks a bit steppy. You can see even the chicken track bit is super rutted. So I think it's going to be easier just to go up the rocks. Up there, I'll just set the camera up.
It never looks good on camera. Like I set up the cameras, I'm like, wow, this looks like absolutely nothing. I cannot see the track. Am I good? Huh?
Next bit that we're going down is the Arkaroola Gorge. This is like an optional part of the track. She said it's a bit gnarly, so you should check it out before you go down in case you don't really want to do it.
3 wheels. Lauren's shitting herself. That's just all the ruts crunching because the track's been packed in pretty well.
So from the looks of things, we've finished the main part of the track. Now we're just going on to another like general use road, which then takes us back to the campsite. So I'm just going to quickly touch on both places that we went to. First up, Rawnsley, 4-wheel driving, kind of mid. I would give it like a 3 out of 10. Not really 4-wheel driving, it's more like an unsealed road in a very scenic location. You just need 4 wheels to spin so you don't lose traction and fall off the edge. But there's not any real obstacles that are going to push your car. The scenery though on the track, crazy cool. You're on like nice, sharp, narrow ridges. So for the track, a 3. For the scenery, I'll give it a 7. Then now coming on to Arkaroola, I don't think it's like break your car kind of tracks like you would have in Queensland and those kind of ones, but it's definitely worth the money. The only negatives on the tracks, I would say, I imagine in winter the tracks probably get rained out a bit more. There is no chicken tracks and it's one way in, one way out. So if you get to a point where you were like, oh shit, I can't do this obstacle, you just have to keep going at it until you get up there. So for the track, I would give it a 7 out of 10. And then for scenery, I would give it probably a 7, about the same as Rawnsley.
So averaging the whole of the Flinders Ranges out to a 17. I didn't do all the tracks, but I'm still putting it down behind Boggy Hole, which I think scored 20.